Alright, this is how I built Miss Pamela's hakimaringer. First I took a 2x6, it's 21 inches long. I took another piece that's 9 inches long, and then the only thing connecting this to this is glue and a couple of dowels somewhere in here. I just doweled it together. Coming through here, I drilled a hole when it was still on the drill press. I drilled it large enough for a couple of brass bushings in there. This is a 3/8 all-threaded rod that goes all the way through to this handle. This was purchased at Home Depot. The 3/8 all thread was purchased at Home Depot. This handle and everything I just had laying around, but anything can be used. The brass bushings have never needed to be lubricated because there's not any kind of speed involved. As you can see how this works, it's just a 3/8 drill chuck, hand tightening drill chuck. I bought all the drill rod that she will ever need from a supply store, an industrial supply store. All these, I buy them, this is drill rod. You don't have to harden it or anything. It comes in various sizes, all the way from standard SAE sizes to metric sizes. Because of what she uses, all I did was pick metric sizes. I got her a bunch of them. These are standard 3 feet long, and I cut them into 6-inch lengths. So she has a million of them. At one time, I took them and I drilled little bitty tiny holes in the back so that she could start her wire in these holes, but these are not necessary. These go in like this. Tighten it down. Take a piece of wire, you start it, you just turn it, keeping your rings tight to each other. When she's turning them, you keep the rings, you just keep it tight. This is a nice thick wire so it doesn't go anywhere. You can see where she started the wire in the hole. It's really not necessary, but she does find it convenient at times, especially with real thick stuff. It would probably be better to have some sort of notch or something. I don't know. She's never complained, so this is what she gets. There's all kinds of stuff here that you can see the number of different size jump rings that she can make, from itty bitty bitty tiny ones, even though I see that she's allowed these to rust now. I'm going to have to spank her later. But
Yeehaw!
And I'm not sure what all she's got in here. I do not know why it's rusting either. It's not that bad. I think she makes square ones too, but I have yet to see that. Anyways, this is all, I think the whole thing cost me maybe $50, and it took a little bit of time to make the thing. The next part of the video we're going to show is going to be her clamping a coil, a made coil like this. They're usually about 4 inches long, and she's going to clamp it into her vise and show you her jeweler's saw. And basically all it is just that. You clamp it in there, you saw it, and presto, jump rings pop out of it. This is how she keeps her wire organized. It's in plastic bags and coils, and she keeps them in a file folder. She slings it around and tries to poke me in the eye with it. Usually don't work. It's like a dog that's about to get hit. I just close my eyes.
He's a smart man.
this is how it's done. Nice and easy. Sometimes it's better to clamp the ringer in place onto your workbench, especially if you're working with really stiff wire. At one time I thought I was going to make a tailstock for this thing, but it's never seemed to be necessary, even with the smaller mandrels. That's all there is to making the coil. As you can see, she makes a mess of them at a time. This is her little hobby vise that she has for holding various things. In this case, the coil. She keeps the coil on the mandrel as she's mounting it in the vise. Tightens the rubber jaws up to an exact 14 pounds per square inch, as measured by the torque in her thumb. And then she pulls the mandrel out, loosens it a little bit more, and tightens it back down to make the jump rings oval. Oh. She has a little wax block for lubrication on her saw blade. This is a pretty good doggone idea, even though copper is nice and soft. And as she saws through these, individual jump rings fall out, sometimes binding up, most of the time not.
If they're binding, it means you need to lubricate your blade.
You just heard it right there. The reason why.
Here's a few. It's a process of inserting and reinserting your rod into your hobby vise. You can maybe get 7 at the most before you start cutting back through your rings on the vise, which you don't want to do that. Cut through your rings.
Sometimes it's a good idea to lubricate the mandrel as well.
Lubricate my brain. Oh, this is funny. Huh. How not to make a jump ring?
We can make sure only Miss Cindy sees this.
I don't care.
That way if I cuss and stuff, she doesn't give a shit. I mean, doesn't care.
No. There may be others who want to learn how to do this.
Think they'd find a quality video.
Yeah. Hey, it's jump ring cutting. Jump ring cutting.
I saw one jeweler one time that Miss Pamela was learning from that had a box that you put the coil in, and then you could run like a Dremel saw across it. But man, it looked like real danger to me, so I've never gone to the trouble to try to figure that out.
She won't let me. She's afraid I'll cut something off.
Exactly.
I like these hobby vices because they can tilt. You can use a regular vise, but it's just more comfortable. You can probably get on 18 gauge wire 14 or so jump rings per inch.
As you can see, she's set herself up with a large pan. I think it was something I used to use a long time ago for changing oil underneath the truck. And we've lined it. We've lined it with a piece of rubber. There's just rubber matting, something real thin and resilient. It really helps to stop the jump rings from bouncing around and stuff. It makes it easier to see them. As you can see them real clear in the bottom of the tray where she's working.
You can see why they call them jump rings.
Because they jump?
The
more you can get your tools and everything stabilized. In other words, if you can clamp your workbench down where it doesn't move, and you can clamp your vise down where it doesn't move, and the ringer itself, if you can clamp that thing down so it doesn't move, everything works a lot better. We set this up temporarily on the kitchen table.
Just for you.
And one of the legs, we've got, to keep it from wobbling, we've put a dog underneath it. That was a joke. You can laugh. Oh, this is a video. Never mind. I can't hear you. Okay, go ahead and laugh if you want to at home, even though. And there you have it. That's how she does it. And that's the end of this video.
Excellent.